Hello everyone and welcome back to the part 3 of the UGC-NET Environmental Science NET 2020 exam paper solution. So in this series we are discussing important questions for the examination which was conducted in the year 2020 with figures and tables and discussing the important concept behind that. So if you haven't checked the previous two parts, the link is provided in the I button as well as in the description below. So without much delay, let's get started. So the first question which we are going to deal today will be the match the following, and this is one of the frequently asked question, and mostly this comes in the form of the match the following. So here in the left hand side, that is list 1, we are having the analysis, and list 2 is having the analytical technique. So we have to match with the correct analytical techniques of the analysis given in the list 1. So we will start with the list 1 option A, that is to analyze organic compounds of pollutants. So organic compounds means they will be having the functional groups. For example, OH, COOH, NH2, these are the functional groups which are present in the organic compounds. And to know the analyze the organic compounds functional group, what we use? We use the FTIR, that is the infrared technique in which the organic compounds functional group are analyzed. Next, coming to the analysis of the elemental composition of the pollutants. To know the element wise, how to know the analytical techniques which we will use is the X-ray fluorescence technique. So X-ray fluorescence technique to analyze the element of a pollutant. Next, coming to the morphological analysis of the pollutants. Morphological analysis means it is talking about the structural analysis of the pollutants. So to know the structure of the elements, what we have to do? We have to go for the electron microscope to scan the surface, that is scanning electron microscope. Next, coming to the analyzation of the crystalline materials of the pollutants to analyze the crystal structure. This is one of the frequent asked questions. So the diffraction, that is the XRD, is used to know the crystalline structure of the pollutant. So here, according to this, option number 3 will be correct option. So write down all these things and let's move to the next question. So the next question which we are dealing today will be also a match the following. So why I am giving more focus to the match the following? Because in match the following we will know more concept in one single question. So let's know in this match the following, left hand side list 1 elements are given and their characteristics are given in the list 2 which we have to match. So first we will start with the lithophile. So lithophile means lithos means rocks. So the rock loving elements are the oxygen compounds. So it will match with the, it occurs mainly in oxygen compounds. Next, coming to the chalcophile. So chalcophile are the group 16 members. So you should remember they are the group 16 members and they are mostly the sulfide ores. So how will match? Will match with the option 1, that is occur mainly as sulfides. Next, coming to the siderophiles. So siderophiles are the iron loving elements. So you should remember they are iron loving, they are siderophiles, and they are actually the native elements which are occurring, that will match with 4. Now finally we will know what are atmophile. So atmophile are the gases that generally do not form the compounds, which will match with the 2 option. So here option number 4 will be the correct option. So write down all these things, they are very important as per the concept. Let's move to the next question. So next question is one of the sure short question which is asked in every NET environmental science paper. You should know the concept also. The question is, soil humic acids are having which of the following characteristics? So I'll wait for certain seconds, then I'll reveal the answer. So here the soil humic acids are insoluble in acid. So option number 2 will be correct, and we will know humic acid, humin and fulvic acid, all these 3 characteristics, their solubility in acid and alkali, because it is most often asked. So starting with the humin are the substance which are insoluble in acid and also insoluble in alkali. They are both insoluble. Now coming to the humic acid, that is insoluble in acid and soluble in alkali. So the question was asking that soil humic acid, that will option number 2 was correct. So here they are insoluble in acid but they are soluble in alkali. Now fulvic acid, we will know they are soluble in both acid and alkali. So they are the opposite of humin, where they are insoluble in both, but fulvic acid are soluble in both. And humic acid, as we have known, soluble in alkali, insoluble in acid. The next question is also a very important question. The question was asking which one of the following categories of the developmental projects does not require the environmental impact assessment report. So which does not needs any clearance report from the EIA, and here the correct option will be, I hope everyone will be able to answer, option number 2, category B2 projects, they don't require the EIA report, and we will know how they are divided in the area development project. So you should know that the major difference between category B1 and B2 is that category B1 they require EIA, but category B2 they do not require EIA report. The category B1 projects covering an area or with built up area more than 1,50,000 square kilometers, and category B2 are the projects which are covering the area or built up that is less than 150,000 square meters. So that is the difference between category B1 and B2 projects. Let's move to the next question. The next question is coming up from the volcanic eruption, and the question is, beside the steam, next gas in order of abundance emitted from the volcanic eruption is what? So here it is telling that steam is having the maximum percentage from the volcanic eruption, and after that it is followed by carbon dioxide. That option 3 will be correct, and we will know what are the other constituent of the volcanic eruption. So here in the left hand side it is given the volcanic gas composition. So we'll know the maximum is by the steam component, that is H2O 79.31%, followed by carbon dioxide, that is 11.61%, then followed by the sulfur dioxide, and then it is followed by nitrogen gases and hydrogen gases. And now if we are coming to the general gas composition of the atmosphere, then we all know nitrogen is having the 78.08%, the maximum, followed by oxygen, that is around 21%, more precisely 20.94%, and followed by argon and carbon dioxide. So note down all these things. Let's move to the next question. Next question, again a match the following. This is the very chocolate question, even the class 7 students can solve this. So here organisms were given in list 1 and ecosystem structure components were given in list 2, starting with the earthworms. So earthworms are the detritivores, everyone knows, it will match with the fourth option. Then grass. Grass is what? Grass is a producer, it produces, so it is the primary producer. Next, coming to the frogs. So frogs are the primary carnivores which eats insects. Then hawks are the secondary carnivore which often feeds on the dead organisms. So in this way this match the following will work out. Let's move to the next question. Next question is very important. I am repeating that it is very important, because these things are based on the concept, and even if you are not having concept, with the help of few knowledge you can solve this question. So in the left hand side it is given atmospheric stability, and in the right hand side list 2 it is given the lapse rate. So we have to correctly match with them. Now we will start with a very simple thing. So dry neutral condition, that atmosphere condition, when it prevails. So neutral means it will be equal kind of. So equal means it will give the option 1, that is when environmental lapse rate is equal to dry adiabatic lapse rate. So 1 is matched. So D1 we will search here as we often do. So here both these options are there. So still we have to dig more further. Now coming to the absolutely stable condition. So when absolutely stable condition will prevail? So absolutely stable condition will prevail when there is the ELR is lesser than the dry adiabatic lapse rate. So here we should know that ELR less than dry adiabatic lapse rate gives the absolute stable condition. So here what matches? The A will match with the 2, 1. That is the second option. So here in this option we can see that A matches with 2 and D matches with the 1. So it is the only option, and we will go and hit this option as correct. So no need to go for all the options. If you are sure and if you are lucky, then from 2 options or 1 options if you are putting correct, if you know it correctly, then you can solve this question with less time. But we will know to clear our concept. Next thing is absolutely unstable condition. When it prevails when ELR is greater than the DLR. And then conditionally unstable condition, when it prevails when the saturated adiabatic lapse rate is lesser than the environmental lapse rate, and dry adiabatic lapse rate is greater than the environmental lapse rate. One more thing I would like to say, that when we are talking about absolutely stable condition, this condition you should remember that in absolutely stable condition dry adiabatic lapse rate is greater than the saturated adiabatic lapse rate, and the saturated adiabatic lapse rate is greater than the ELR, that is environmental lapse rate. So this thing you should remember. So now I think it is clear, more clear. So these were some of the important questions which came in the 2020 NET exam, and it will also give you a hint that how questions are coming. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe the channel, share it with your friends, and hit the notification icon to get all further updates. You can join our Telegram group for regular quizzes and Instagram for the current affairs and other important tips. So see you guys in our next video.